Hello everyone, in this lecture we're going to review Lean Enterprise. We're going to define Lean, we're going to go over the Lean fundamentals, type of waste, categories of waste, workplace organization, concept of flow, inventory control, and Lean implementation. So let me start defining Lean. And Lean is defined as the prevention of waste throughout the organization. But what is waste? Waste is defined as any extra time, labor, capital, space, facilities, or material that does not add value to the product or service for the customer. It means that the customer is not willing to pay for. Now, Lean is not something that is completely new. The pioneer of Lean was Ford, and it was back in the early 1900s. It was there what he put as a together an assembly line, and it was assembling the Model T in 33 hours with almost zero inventory but also zero flexibility. So there was something that needed to be improved. So it was perfected by Toyota, and this was post World War II, which they added multiple models and colors. That means that it was able to customize based on customer needs. Rapid setups, be able to change from one production to another one with minimum of waiting time, Kanban, identification wait, mistake proofing, almost zero inventory with maximum flexibility. Now, Lean also is known by many names: Toyota Production System, just in time, just an inventory control approach, and continuous flow. So it's very important that you know that the tools that we're going to be seeing in this lecture is something that they're not new, something that were created a long time ago, but they're just putting together in this new methodology of Lean Enterprise. So let's see what are the basics of Lean: type of waste, categories of waste, workplace organization, the concept of flow, inventory control, visual management, Kaizen, and value stream. So in this lecture, we're going to be able to go over the different bases of Lean. So let's start with type of waste. So we know that a waste is something that is not adding value to our final product, service, something that the customer would not be able to pay for. Now, it is important that we understand that we could have two different non-value added activities. One, that it is unnecessary for the system to function, and the other one that is necessary for the system to function. For example, let's say that we have our manufacturing plant in Europe and our warehouse is in North America. The transportation from Europe to North America, and by the way, transportation is a category of waste. It's a non-value activity. However, it is necessary for our organization to function. So that is the difference between the non-value added and unnecessary for the system, and the non-value added but necessary for the system to function. A third type of waste is due to the unevenness or variation in quality, cost, or delivery. And a very good example of this is the concept that it was is given by Taguchi's in the loss function. As the quality characteristic varies from the target value, the cost increases. A fourth type of waste is caused by overstressing people, equipment, or system. So continuously using equipment without the proper maintenance would lead to a breakdown of the system, right, or equipment, or continue requiring overtime for the people will overstress them, and that will lead to poor performance and burnout. So now let's go over the different categories of waste. And you might find that you have 7, sometimes you go and you might find that there's a number 8, but there are 7 basic categories of waste: overproduction, waiting, transportation, defects, inventory, motion, and the extra processing or over processing. So let's start with transportation. Transportation is the moving of items from one place to another, and this is known adding value to our final product or service, and therefore it is a waste. The more you move materials, the greater the opportunity for damage and the need for more space. Inventory. Inventory has to do with items, paperwork, information waiting to be processed. So any inventory in the value stream is not value added because inventory requires space and has other waste. Motion have to do with excessive movement and are poor ergonomic, and this is a movement of a person's body that does not add value to the final product. For example, walking requires times to retrieve material that are not available in the area that we need it, and that is a type of waste. Waiting, delays caused by shortage, approvals, downtime. So any idle time or delay that occurs when an operation waits for material, information, and equipment. Overproduction, this is producing more than is needed. So when we do overproduction, we are producing more earlier, faster than required by the next process or the next step, and that is a waste because it causes inventory, manpower, transportation, and those are adding more waste to the final product. Overprocessing, adding more value than the customer is willing to pay for, because if no, it's a type of waste because you know that the customer will not value that. Defect, rework, scrap, inspection, and that's part of the cost of poor quality. Product or service that do not conform to customer specifications. These are the main 7 categories of waste. Now, as a basics of lean, the workplace organization is vital in any quality improvement approach. So in order to establish an effective product or service flow, you need to have in place a workplace that is well organized. And for this, there's a technique that is called the 5 S's, and they can help you to organize your workplace. These 5 S's are sort, straighten, shine, standardize, and sustain. They are original from a Japanese word, and they also start with S. So the 5 S's, let's start with the sort. Sort is to eliminate all unnecessary tools, parts, and instructions, things that you're not going to need it. You can think about going through your desktop or your garage. So eliminate all the unnecessary things that you're not going to need, and you keep only the essential items, and you eliminate what's not required. Then from those essential items, you prioritize things per requirement, and you keep them easily accessible so you can reach to them when you need it. The next one is strength, and these are the items that are left. That means that they're important to what you do. They are arranged to reduce or eliminate wasted motion. So they should be in a place for everything, and everything should be in its place. They should be labeled. They should be arranged in a manner that promotes efficient workflow. They should be accessible. The worker should not have to bend repeatedly to access those material, etc. Shine, our third word, is the clean of the workspace. So clean the workspace and all equipment and keep it clean, tidy, and organized. So this means that you are avoiding spills, leaks, and other messes. And you have to have a way to make sure that everyone is aware that those are visual signals or equipment or processes that need attention if those happen. Standardized, just make sure that once you do that, the third 3 S's, you standardize, so you make this like a work practice, and they should be consistent and done in regular basis. And sustain is to make sure that you maintain and review the standards. From the time the first action begins until the product or service reaches to the end users, the flow should be continuous with minimum variation. So flow indicates the path that the different activity steps will follow, and they need to have the minimum variation, and this is to make sure that we are still, or the process is still in control. We don't want to stop for an equipment breakdown or delayed or inventory or any other waste. So this is the concept of flow. Now you can have one piece flow. This is the ideal state where parts are manufactured one at a time and flow throughout the manufacturing and supply chain as single unit, and they're transferred as customer order. So the one piece flow is the one that reduces the time between the order and the delivery, prevents waiting times and production delays, reducing the labor and space to storage and move batches, reveals any defects or problems early in the process, reduces damage that occur during batch processing, provides flexibility to produce specified product, etc. When we have large batches of parts simultaneously, we're accumulating parts in a bin for shipping or transferring. This is completely the opposite of one piece flow. So to do one piece flow, there are different resources that are required. You have to have a process map in place. You need to comprehend the process. You need to do value mapping. That means or leaving those activities that are adding value to the final product or service and eliminating the waste. You need to have the authorities to make process improvement. You need to do the process operating dates. You need to have all those in place, long delivery lead times, obsolete inventories, make sure that you eliminate that, etc. So there are different things that must be done in order to have a one-piece flow. Inventory control, another basis of lean, and is also known as the just-in-time, and is a well-known element of inventory control. And this means that we're going to be driving inventory system in which material parts and sub-assemblies and support items are delivered just when needed and neither sooner nor later. The main objective of just-in-time is to eliminate product inventory from the supply chain. So you're eliminating waste. You will encompass all the activities required to make a final product from design engineering all the way to manufacturing operation. And this was an approach developed and perfected by Taiichi Ohno, and he was part of the Toyota Corporation during the 1960s and 70s. Visual management is another part of the basics of lean, and this is part of the saying that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and it's true. This is a lot of visual displays that are used throughout the facility to inform people about customer, projects, performance, goals, etc. Kaizen is a Japanese word and defines the management roles in continuous encouraging and implementing small improvements involving everyone. So you have a small improvement, and this is a good way to change culture because you are achieving short-term goals, you are showing everyone that it is working, and you get motivated yourself and others to keep working on this. Kaizen relies heavily on a culture that encourages suggestions by operator. So this is a teamwork. They will continuously and incrementally improve their job or process. Something used here is the Kaizen Blitz, and this is highly focused, action-oriented, 3 to 5 days improvement workshops, and the teams take actions to improve a specific process. They will use the plan, do, check and act, or plan, do, study and act, or any problem-solving technique, and they will get trained and they will get to work and they will get to solve a specific problem. Value stream. The term value stream refers to the specific activities required to design, order, produce, and deliver a product or service to a consumer. And this includes the flow of the material from suppliers to customer, transformation of the raw material to a completed product or service, and all the required information. So all of this is part of the value stream. The value stream mapping is used to graphically describe the sequence and movement of activities associated with a value stream. So all of these are used in lean. In general, there is no one best way to implement lean. So there are suggested approach, and this is one of them. So the first one will be with the approval of senior management. You need to establish cross-function teams and with a team leader. So once you get this approval, you need to train this team in the lean fundamentals. Then you're going to construct a value stream mapping for the current state and the ideal state. You're going to analyze the maps to determine the best place for a successful pilot project. You're going to train the people on how to implement it. Then you're going to apply 5S's to do the workplace organization and some Kaizen techniques to do some improvement. You can use Kaizen leads to develop continuous stable one-piece flow as well as inventory control. Then you're going to expand your activities to include all departments, suppliers, and users, and then you're going to standardize the improvements. So this lecture is all about Lean Enterprise. Remember, the approaches that we're using in Lean they're no something that are just developed. They were developed a long time ago. They just put in one content that we can use them and we can achieve the main objective of Lean, which is the prevention of waste.